Test, 1, 2, 3. Test, 1, 2, 3. Good. Test, 1, 2, 3. Good. All right, I'll try the other one. All right. Test, 1, 2, 3. Test. What? Oh, like physically? A little bit more? Okay. All right. Good. All right, that's fine.
Test.
All right, just let me know when it works. Are you in touch with Andy or do I need to? Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
It wasn't easy, but nothing is. No.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. The way this press conference will run, Dr. Campos will give an introduction, then we'll have a photo opportunity. Coach Claunch will then speak, and then we'll take questions for about 15 minutes. They'll be here for 45 minutes to an hour after for one-on-ones after that. So it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Lisa Campos.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, for those that are vertically challenged, it's kind of hard to be sitting here. I feel like I should stand up, but hopefully you all can see. Well, maybe we're both here. All right. All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us here today. It's been really long anticipated. We kept watching this Final Four run and thinking, when are they going to lose so we can get we can get Austin here? No, we were really cheering for Alabama, but thank you for being here, for taking time. This is a really exciting day. And all of you in this room, all of you play a role in the success that UTSA Athletics has had in all of our sports, and looking forward to continued success in those sports, and particularly in our men's basketball program. So we just really want to say thank you for being here and how you all have supported us every day. I also want to recognize Dr. Amy. Unfortunately, he is traveling today, so he was unable to be with us. But you know that he is our #1 fan. You know that from day one, he has supported UTSA Athletics. He has talked about this as the front porch of the university, and he really has supported us and put forth so much great effort with resources and helping recruit coaches, helping us recruit student athletes, and we just are really appreciative of his bold vision, of how he continues to fall forward, and how he continues to push all of us to be better. So it was a quick journey, but it was a journey of planes, trains, and automobiles to get Austin here to San Antonio. We immediately had him on our radar. We had so many people reaching out to us, telling us about what a great human Austin is foremost, but also what a great basketball coach he is. And we immediately went to work. I had shared with the media earlier that there was, I think, 23 positions open at the time, and we didn't want someone to steal Austin, so we went to work really, really quickly. And we flew out to Nashville. Unfortunately, they had just had a tough loss against Florida, but that didn't deter Austin from having an exceptional interview that early Saturday morning. I think that was after also some phone calls to our coaches to kind of check out UTSA, maybe find out who's this Lisa person, how's she to work with. But he had an incredible, great interview and was really, I've been here before, you all have heard this, that we always look for foremost someone who really cares deeply about student athletes. That is what our #1 mission is here, is to make sure that we are impacting positively the lives of our 18 to 22-year-old students who are here, to make sure they're having an exceptional experience culminating in graduation, and that's what Austin's about. We also want a champion, right? Someone who's been at a high level, someone who has won championships, knows what it feels like, and that was very proven in his experience as a head coach and winning back-to-back conference championships at Nichols, where he was. So he had a great interview that Saturday morning. We immediately, called a lot of people, and again, just kept hearing nothing but incredible things about Coach Clunch. On the way back, how committed we are. I want to thank Christine Moeller and Brad Smith, who helped in this journey. Brad, in particular, drove us home after we couldn't get a flight back from Dallas at 10 o'clock at night. We got on the road. He drove us all the way back from Dallas. But in the meantime, we were able to knock out Coach's contract and speak with agents and get a lot of business done. But thank you so much, again, to Brad and Christine for the role that you played and how nimble you all were in this quick process. We obviously have a number of donors and fans and members of the university leadership in this room today. And again, we just appreciate all you do in helping us, whether it's recruiting student athletes and recruiting our coaches. You all play such a big role in what we do. And just a huge thank you to the media. You all play a big part in this. You help us share the great word about UTSA. You help us spread our brand. and you help get this community really excited about UTSA, and particularly today, UTSA basketball. So thank you so much for your continued coverage. It really does mean a lot. Our men's basketball program has accomplished great things in its history. For those long-timers here, you know that we've won conference championships, we've competed at the NCAA tournament, we've had players go on to compete in the NBA. We have a really solid foundation to consistently have a consistent elite men's basketball program, and that's exactly what we plan to continue to do. We're going to build on this foundation. Again, as we work to identify our next men's basketball coach, Coach Claunch was a name that kept coming up. We obviously know he's a Texan. That was a big draw, that he wanted to be back in this great state. He's excited to be here. He actually knows some of our former players. He played high school basketball with some of our former UTSA players, so he knows San Antonio. He knows the history. And he's also been able, from a distance, to really watch this program grow over the last few years. As I said, we wanted someone with a winning success championship caliber, someone with the high energy that he has, and he really proved that while he was a head coach at Nichols. He obviously has been a part of a big-time program, a couple of big-time programs, including Clemson and Alabama. And if you all followed any of our social media, you saw what a great job Alabama did. And I'll share, when I had an opportunity to talk with Coach Oates, the head coach at Alabama, I mean, he gave, I don't know if I've even shared this with you, he gave Coach, just a great compliment, one of the highest compliments. He said, Lisa, Austin was born to be a head coach. He commands the room, he relates to his players, and he knows how to connect. And so I can't wait for you all to have a connection with Coach, for him to set those high expectations. But I think to come from a high caliber coach as Coach Oates to say that about Austin, it just speaks highly of who we're about to see in the next few years. Again, you all will see his high energy. He might be low-key today in a suit.
Just had a big lunch.
He just had a big lunch as well. Yes. He just had a.
But the energy's still gonna be there.
All right. But you will see that that high energy, that excitement to be here, his excitement to get on the court and to start being with his players and getting things moving right away. Austin, his vision, again, aligns perfectly with mine. During his playing days at Emory, an NCAA Division III member, he got the full experience of being a true student athlete, and he has carried that over to his coaching philosophy. He cares about student athletes as people, as part of this community, and in the classroom. Austin will be an outstanding leader of young men, of whom are in this room today. Thank you for being here. The student athletes who Austin welcomes in this program will be reflective of this integrity. So without further ado, we are just so excited to have our next men's basketball coach, Austin Clunch.
Am I over there?
Yeah,
Here or here? Over there? Am I here?
yes.
Oh,
See,
great.
now you're going to feel the vertically challenged.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Oof. Okay. Hey, I'm gonna try not to. I'm gonna try to be brief, guys, but I do have a lot of thank yous. One thing you're gonna hear from me a lot is having a program of integrity and gratitude. And so, like I said, I have a lot of people that I just want to thank. Obviously, it's been an incredible few weeks. I really want to thank Lisa for being patient with me as quickly as I wanted to be down here. Man, it was an incredible ride, but one thing you will hear me say a lot is sprint through the finish. And I owed it to Coach Oates, I owed it to Alabama to finish out what I started. And now I'm ready to get down here and you know, do the same thing, fellas, and ultimately get to march and make history. You know, it's funny, when I started preparing for this, I had never watched my last press conference at Nichols, which was 6 years ago.
I
And so
watched
I had never watched it. I had never watched it. So I went and watched it, and all I could think about was, what in the world was Nichols doing hiring that guy? And, you know, 28-year-old, had never done it, up there stuttering, didn't have, you know, no idea what he's doing. But I had a vision. I had a vision for what I thought we could do at Nichols, right? And I still get chills thinking about it. You know, we built it in year 1. Year 2, we finished second. We won it in year 3. We won it again in year 4. Year 4, and a couple of my old assistants are back there in the left. It was a winner-take-all game at home in Stouffer Gymnasium, standing room only, like 1,500 people, you know, and it was awesome. And then we won that game, but I remember thinking throughout the course of the game, this is incredible, right? This is the vision, right? And that's what we're going to do here at UTSA. And the vision is to cut down nets in the combo, right? And that's what we want to do, okay? So, again, I want to thank Lisa throughout this process, you know, for allowing me to finish what we started last year, but also just entrusting me with this opportunity. You know, a kid from Texas, I'm not going to be too cliche, but I am a proud Texan, and I've followed this program for a long time. I want to thank Dr. Amy for also entrusting me with this opportunity. I want to thank people along the way, as you know, I think Dr. Campos already touched on most of them, but Christine has been my partner in crime for the last couple of weeks. I don't know what I'd be doing without her. She has kept me organized and on track with the work that we've already started. I want to thank Brad also, meeting him in Nashville, and then for, again, you know, being here to welcome me. And then that's, you know, I want to welcome everyone else, or thank everyone else, I should say, for welcoming me with open arms. I haven't gotten to meet all the other coaches yet. The ones that I have met have just been an incredible resource to me. I see Coach Aston here, and I think a round of applause is in order for the women's basketball team in the year they had. I threw a strike at the softball game the other day. I don't know if Coach Studeman is here. I have heard that she is fantastic, so I look forward to getting with her more, and you know, obviously using her as a resource. And then you guys might know my associate head coach, Coach Jeff Traylor, who is also the football coach here. And in all seriousness, Coach Traylor was, I mean, he was, I don't even know the words to articulate, just my first conversations with him and how we connected on our vision for not just our teams, but I think for the program as a whole. And, you know, I want to be very clear, you know, I'm a Texas kid, and this is a football state. And it is a blessing, and it is a resource to have a coach who runs our football team like he does, because it's a recruiting tool. It's great not just for our team, but for this athletic department as a whole. So I'm very thankful for Coach Traylor, as well as everyone else, and I look forward to meeting everybody. I want to thank the Alabama family, obviously, the administration as a whole, specifically Greg Burns, Shane Lyons, and then, of course, Nate Oates, who took a chance on me. Wasn't an easy decision for either one of us. You know, I was a head coach. We had success. I felt like I had more to learn. I feel like I'm a much better coach now than I was a year ago when I left Nichols. And for Coach Oates to trust me, I never recruited at that level. I had been at Clemson in a different role, but he believed in me. He's an incredible motivator, and we did some special things this year. So I'm really thankful for that entire community of Tuscaloosa. And then lastly, before I kind of talk more about me, just the players. Any player I've ever coached, you guys sitting right here, this means everything to me. You guys sitting right here, I do it for the players, man. I do it for the players. And when I talk about my program, two things tend to happen. I tend to talk longer than I want to, so I'm going to try to speed through this because I can't wait to hear more questions. And then also, I get fired up. I get emotional, man. Like, I love coaching. And you guys sitting right here for my first day, it means everything to me. And so I appreciate you guys, appreciate the guys at Nichols, Alabama, Clemson, George Mason. Whether you average 20 or you just put on a practice uniform, it means everything to me because you guys are the reason that we're here. and I look forward to getting in the gym and start working. A little bit more about me. Like Lisa said, I'm a proud Texan. My dad is from El Paso, Texas. Taught me a lot about relationships. He's never met a stranger. My mom is from Dallas. It really was a family tradition. Get up on Sunday, go to church, and come home and watch the Dallas Cowboys together. So a lot of people would say that's the root of a lot of my problems, but I don't know if that's true or not. But I have two sisters, an older and a younger, that sacrificed a lot for me. A lot of tournaments, right? I'm sure these guys could say the same thing. Family members that invested a lot in helping me get to where I wanted to get to. You will know them. They'll be here a lot. My mom's going to want to talk to you about UTA basketball, whether you want to or not. So I look forward to you guys meeting them. And then, of course, my beautiful fiance, Jimena, is here. We are engaged. I'm trying to push the wedding forward before she knows what it's like to be a coach's wife, actually. So it's funny. She would admittedly say she didn't know a ton about basketball before we met. And now she wants to argue with me about ball screen coverage and defense. And so, but in all seriousness, we're so excited to be here in this community, and we're truly home. And that's really exciting for us. A little bit about my career. I thought I had started. I played at a small school. I had aspirations just like these guys did. I quit growing a little sooner than these guys did, so I played at a small school in Atlanta, Georgia, and got right into coaching. I knew I wanted to coach. My college coach is still one of my best friends. I talk to him 2 or 3 times a week, and I try to give these guys the same experience that I was able to have. I got right into it. I coached at George Mason for 1 year under Paul Hewitt, who had taken Georgia Tech to a national championship game. He taught me about recruiting. He taught me about relationships. From there, I moved on to Clemson. I was with Brad Brownell for 3 years there, maybe the best defensive mind I've ever been around in college basketball. So it was a little bit bittersweet, playing those guys in the Elite Eight. It was an incredible moment. They had an unbelievable year, and so to compete against them on that stage was certainly a special moment for me. I got to Nichols as an assistant coach first, and man, what a journey that was. And under Richie Riley, who's now the coach at South Alabama, we learned how to build. Nichols, when we got there, it had 1 winning season in 25 years. And Coach Riley told me on day 1, we're going to win the league in year 2. That's what he said. And we did. And from there, he left. I was able to take over and won 2 more, and we won 3 out of 6. And so we learned how to build something, quite frankly, in a place where most people weren't used to doing it. And I'm really excited. We've done it more at UTSA, but I'm looking forward to getting that magic back. And it's going to happen sooner than later. I want you guys to understand that. And then lastly, of course, just, this past year at Alabama was certainly special. What Nate Oates has done in the past 4 years there is nothing short of remarkable. We're going to play a similar style. Obviously, we'll get into more of that as we, I'm sure there's going to be some questions about style of play and things like that. I don't want to focus too much on that stuff today, but I owe Coach Oates a lot, and that program it's great. He's got something going that's sustainable. He's not going anywhere, and I think Kentucky's going to have to find a different coach than Coach Oates. So, and so again, just a little bit about our program and the things that I want to instill and how we're going to do things. Again, I don't want to get up here and be all cliche. I do have a background of playing up tempo and fast, like every coach says when they get up here and talk about what they want to do. But I've done it at a bunch of different places. But we're going to be efficient, right? I don't just want to run around and shoot threes and things like that. We're going to throw it inside. We're going to play inside out. But we're going to value playing unselfishly and being efficient. Defensively, I believe in being disruptive. I want other teams to have to prepare for our defense as much as they prepare for our offense, right? I want to force some turnovers, want to make people miss, and obviously rebound and get out and run. So that's a little bit about the style of play, but I'm more concerned with you guys understanding who we're going to be as people and what our program's going to represent more so than, how we're going to play. Because we're going to win here because of who we are, not what we have, and the people that are in our building, right? And I'm a big believer that we won at Nichols and Alabama and wherever I've been because I had the best staff, had the best players that bought in and wanted to win championships, right? I'm not going to sit here and say culture 100 times. I think that's something that gets built over time. I think everyone knows that culture is imperative to winning championships at the highest level of whatever it is that you do. I think it's hard to articulate that in a press conference for 30 seconds. I think what's important to me is, you got to have a code, right? What are the things that you really value? What are the things you can put on your wall and your guys see every day in the locker room, every day in the office, every day when they come out to the combo? Our code has 3 pillars, right? Number 1 is embrace the moment, right? You got to embrace the moment. You got to be where your feet are. For you guys, you student, my players sitting right here, it's so easy today to think about the next step. So easy to think about being a pro. It's so easy to think about, with social media and the distractions these guys have, it's hard to focus. It's hard to worry about what's right in front of you. To play at UTSA is a privilege. To play Division I anywhere is a privilege. And you guys have an incredible opportunity here to make history. And we're going to embrace the moment. We're going to have fun. When we win, we're going to celebrate. We're going to have great times together. I demand we have fun in our program. Okay? And then when that happens, the more you win, the more that comes with that is adversity. You got to embrace the adversity that comes with it. Packed home gyms when you win means packed away gyms, right? And so you got to be able to go on the road and understand that that's what it's all about. I used to tell our guys at Nichols, that's how you're able to go at those schools and, beat a Power 5 team or be in those games because those teams are going to make a run, right? And I used to tell our guys all the time that if an 8-0 run is the worst thing that ever happens to you in your life, you're going to live a pretty good life. And you got to embrace those. That's what comes with the pressure that is also a privilege about being on a great college basketball team. So embrace all of it. Embrace these experiences because it's supposed to be the best time of your life. And that's what I want to create for you guys. Number 2, we're going to be great teammates. We're going to be great teammates. Sounds easy, I know. But I don't want good teammates when it's convenient. I want great teammates all the time. The softball coach at Alabama, Patrick Murphy, he's won a couple of World Series. He actually met with our team about halfway through the year and shared a word that they use at Alabama softball. Or maybe some of you have heard of it, mudita. Has anybody ever heard of mudita? No? It's a very popular term used in Buddhism. And basically what it is it's unselfish and empathetic joy for others, right? And basically it's feeling true joy when you see someone else experiencing true joy. And that really changed our team for the last 2 months. How our bench was, how our guys interacted, and you don't go on a run. In fact, Lisa kind of mentioned it, the Florida game in Nashville was probably the worst start to an interview you could ever have. And then, but we get into the tournament and you can make a run when you have a group of guys that really believes and is bought into each other, not just, scoring, not conditional. You have to be a great teammate all the time. We're playing North Carolina, and Mark Sears, who is, a second-team All-American for us this year, is out of the game. Coach goes to put him in, and he comes and he wasn't sure who he was getting out, so we're in our seats, and Coach said, "You got Nick." Nick was instrumental in our run to the Final Four, and Mark kind of said, "Hey, Coach, man, Nick's playing great. Keep him in. He's good. No." And the other guys had kind of just gone in the game, so Coach is kind of looking around. I'm sort of thinking, Mark, if you don't get your butt in that seat and sit down right now, And but in all seriousness, that was the attitude that our guys played with throughout the course of the year. It was one mission, it was one heartbeat, and it was about each other. It wasn't about one guy scoring. And when you develop that, that's when special things happen. That's when championships are won. And then lastly, we're going to earn the right to win. It's hard to win one game. People have no idea what goes into winning one game, let alone championships. And obviously, Coach knows this. I mean, again, I touched on what the women's team did this year. Incredible. There's work that, one thing I think I've been really blessed to work for great coaches. Brad Brownell's been at Clemson for 15 years. In this day and age, for a college coach to be at that level for 15 years in one place speaks a lot to his work ethic, to the details that goes into it. Obviously, we've spoken about Coach Oates, but we're going to be extremely detail-oriented. We're going to work. We're going to watch film. We're going to practice at game speed, and we're going to compete every single day. Winning is a privilege as much as being here. You have to earn the right to win every single day with how you prepare and how you work in the gym. But then the other side of that is you have to live the right way. And everyone has different philosophies. I'm a big believer in that. I think all of it is tied in to having a great program. You got to treat people on campus a certain way. You have to speak to people in the community a certain way. And I'm not a huge rules, I don't have like a rule book I'm going to give you guys necessarily or anything, but I'll tell you rule number one, man, be on time. Just be on time. It's that easy. I don't necessarily care what you have on. I don't care if you woke up late and you haven't brushed your teeth. Man, just be on time. Because if you can be on time to something, it shows that you care about other people's time. And even more importantly, to me, it's the one thing that's really going to translate when you guys leave here. And I think that's the big reason I have this code is I think it translates to a lot of different fields, not just about a winning basketball team. I want guys when they leave here, I'm not worried about them. I'm excited for what's in the future because of what you guys have created and the young men that you've become. So last thing I want to say, as I was in Phoenix for the shoot around on Thursday, it was open shoot around, and they're out there. They have all the teams listed on the wall in Phoenix, and we're out there shooting around. I had never been inside of the football stage. Like you go to Final Fours to network and things like that. I had never been inside, and so I'm in there, and it's awesome, right? And I'm thinking about UTSA, right? I really am. Since I've gotten the call from Nashville, it has been really hard. Obviously I've been doing double duty, but I'm thinking about the last time UTSA was in the NCAA tournament, which was 2011. Devin Gibson was my childhood friend that Lisa referred to. He was an all-league player here, and all I could think about, to be honest with you, some of you may know him, the late Brooks Thompson, and Brooks, and I might get emotional talking about Brooks. He recruited Devin and a guy named Say-Pay who came later, and Brooks treated me. I was a coach's son, right? I wasn't good enough to play at UTSA, but he left an impact on me with how he would just genuinely, not like, hey, Austin, what's up? Walk off, talk to Devin. He developed a true relationship with me. And, as a young guy that wanted to get into coaching, that was just really special to me. We ended up playing him again later in his career at Clemson, and just I spoke to him pretty soon before he passed. And, man, I can remember him and those guys hugging at the Merrill Center when they won. And, it really has come full circle. I'm really excited. I want to bring that magic back, not to just our school, not just to our team, but the community of San Antonio as a whole. Student body, admin, boosters, everyone. We need everyone. And it's not about, again, I said it earlier, it's not about what we have. We're going to win because of who we have in this building. That's the truth. We didn't have the nicest stuff at Nichols. We didn't have the nicest stuff at Alabama. But we had incredible people. We had people who wanted to win, and we had a community that cared. Good teams win games, but great families and great communities win championships. Okay? And that's what I think we have here, which is the most important thing for a successful program. The last thing I would ask is, who intends on coming to the first game? That's great. Bring one person who's not in here. Just one. Just bring one. That's how it starts. You bring one. These guys are going to play an exciting brand. They're going to win. They're going to compete. Those people are going to bring one more with them, and that's how it starts. And then before you know it, we're going to be cutting down nets in the combo, okay? So, again, I appreciate you guys coming out. Birds up. I'll open it for questions. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say.
At this time, we'll take questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand and wait for a microphone. We have mic holders on the aisles. We have Kyle and Kiana here. Once you're called upon, please state your name and affiliation so that Coach gets to know you. We'll start over here with JJ.
JJ Perez, Inside Runner Sports. Is it okay if I call you Austin, Coach?
Austin,
Yep.
AC, Coach,
Yep.
whatever you got.
Okay, AC. You seem pretty confident about turning this basketball program into a winner. Where does that confidence stem from?
Well, I mean, I think I believe in the values that are important first and foremost. I believe in the style of play on both sides of the ball that we're going to implement. It's not something that I'm guessing. It's in terms of the efficiency in which it's run. I think that's partly probably what I took from Alabama is I'm not exactly Mr. Analytics. That's not who I am as a coach. But quite frankly, there's a lot to it in terms of just when you think about shot geography and playing unselfishly and assists to field goals made, things like that. you know, I believe in that, but then also, you know, I want to have a team that embodies what San Antonio and what Texas is all about. Again, I told you I wasn't going to get up here and be all cliche, but I'm Texas proud. I want our team to be Texas tough, and I want us to take pride in getting stops and then running on the other end. So, you know, it's a style that I think bodes well, not just in the American, but really any conference. And so, yeah, I'm excited to get out here and start working with these guys.
And just to follow up on that, you mentioned community and how important the role of the community is going to play. Just what are your first impressions of San Antonio, and what do you hope to get out of the group?
Yeah, you know, and obviously I'm from Houston, so I came here a lot. And very similar to the athletic department, the city. I mean, just look at the last 15 years, how much it's grown. And, you know, from the area out here to all the way downtown, I mean, I knew San Antonio. I didn't know it like I do now, even being here the first 3 days. It's just been, it's been awesome. I have a lot to learn. I have a lot, I have a lot of areas to see. But I want to be very clear. I want to be out and about. You know, I want to meet people because, again, I want the combo to be the best home court advantage in the American. It's about who's in there. I want to be very clear. It's about who's in there. You know, I've played in arenas with 20,000 people, and there's 2,000 people in there, and it's not that cool. Okay? I want people in the Convocation Center that are loud, that are proud, and if you do that, we'll have the best environment. Okay? And it's about the environment. It's not about who's all in there. It's about the environment. It's about what you can create with how you play and the people in there, and that's what I intend to do.
Hey, Austin.
There he is.
Jerry Briggs from the JB Replay. I want to ask how you got to be friends with Devin Gibson.
So Devin and I, my dad was starting an AAU program back when I was in like 3rd grade, and Devin was someone from a couple neighborhoods over that my dad was introduced to, and it was really that simple. We started playing at a young age. My dad coached him for 10 or 12 years. He's a brother to me. You know, Devin is someone that committed to UTSA very, not very early, but early, you know, toward the end of his junior year. And quite frankly, you know, him and Brooks had, you know, a relationship that maybe other schools, people thought, you know, Devin should go to other places. Devin had a vision for UTSA. It felt like home to him. He came in as a freshman. I don't know if he led the country in steals as a freshman, but he set the culture. You know, he's another one. And I looked up a whole list of UTSA guys. I'm not going to name them all. This is their program. UTSA alum, former players. This is y'all's program. You're welcome. I want you guys at practice. I want you guys to come talk to these guys. And you know, Devin's one of those guys that's really important to that. He had an incredible career. Took us to the NCAA tournament, and I'm excited to get him back here more often. So,
Austin, this is Greg Luca with the San Antonio Express News. I wanted to ask you what, if anything, about making this run to the Final Four with Alabama will benefit you now as you get settled in and start here?
Yeah, you know, again, it was interesting because we didn't play well leading into it. You know, we lost to Florida. We had lost toward the end. We lost to Tennessee at home. We lost a couple of games we didn't think we would. I think we just really stayed grounded. You know, tournament play is tricky. You know, I mean, a lot of people thought Charleston was going to beat us in the first round. You know, they had a heck of a team, and you know, you win that game. There's a couple other upsets along the way, and you know, you get hot. And I talked to these guys about that, you know, on our first Zoom. You know, just about you know, obviously their season and just, you know, the tournament. I think the biggest thing is like I said, just staying grounded. You know, staying within. You know, when you're struggling, you double down on what you do and what you know. And I think, you know, when it comes to our core values and how we're going to play, obviously you're going to make adjustments for, you know, different teams that you play, but you got to know what you value and you got to stick to it even when it gets hard.
Hey, Austin, Stephen Whitaker, birdsup.com. What are your kind of goals for this first season? I know it's several months out, so you have time to think on it, but what would you say your goals are for year one?
Listen, I'm just worried about the first practice. Let's get through that. Listen, the goals are the same all the time. Listen, I'm not naive. It's a process, right? And it's going to take building blocks every single day. Some days we're going to make huge strides. Some days we're not going to make as big of strides, but we're always going to be working toward that goal. And the goals are the same. You know, win the regular season title, win the conference tournament. You know, at Nichols, it was really just those two. For us, we want to go to the tournament and win games. We want to win games in the NCAA tournament. And then lastly, and this one's really important to me, We actually never did it at Nichols. We were 41-3 our last 3 years at home, but I want to go undefeated at home, and that's really important to me. Those are the 4 goals every single year, you know. And now obviously, look, some years that could, you know, there's more work to be done in the off season now that I anticipate moving forward. Right? We have new relationships. We've got new guys coming in. We've got a young core coming back, or a small core coming back, obviously I should say. And so we've got to, you know, hit the ground running and get working and start building those relationships. But the goals don't change. I understand some years it's going to be harder than others, but to me the goals have to remain the same.
Austin, what's the current status of your roster? You mentioned a small core coming back. How many are coming back? And then what's the status of your coaching staff?
Yeah, so with our roster, I mean, we're having team meetings these guys are sitting right here. We're going to have team meetings tomorrow, player meetings throughout the weekend, and we'll be able to have more of an update on that. At the end of the day, we want guys that want to be at UTSA, and we want guys that, again, value the things that I just touched on outside of just the basketball side of things, right? And I think here that's how we're gonna win, is building a culture of guys that are gonna buy in together and compete and be tough and play hard. With my staff, I can talk about. Well, so I just, you know, I know HR stuff. I didn't know finalization, things like that. I just didn't want to get in trouble in my first press conference. But so I got a couple of guys. You know, I'm going to have 4 assistant coaches at least, you know, to start. A couple of the guys are here right now. Trevor DeLoach was the associate head coach at Jacksonville this past year. He was my associate head coach at Nichols as well. One of the elite recruiters in the country, and just an incredible relationship builder. These guys are absolutely going to love him, and his personality is infectious. Nick Bowman is another one of my assistant coaches who's coming from the University of New Orleans. Was my right-hand man, worked at Clemson under Coach Brownell when they went to a Sweet 16, worked under Quanzo Martin at Tennessee when they went to a Sweet 16. So he has an incredible background. He's been around some of the best coaches. I'll go ahead and say it, then he's got to come. No, but a guy named Joseph Jones, who was the interim head coach at Tarleton this past year, is going to be on board with us as well. Obviously someone who was a terrific player, and at Texas A&M, knows the state, has incredible relationships, and I mean, he was the WAC Coach of the Year this past year, you know, and as much as I'm excited to help him, I think he's going to help me a ton, you know, learn a lot from him. He did a heck of a job there, and I'm looking forward to getting him down here and, you know, work with some of these big fellas on, you know, scoring down there. And then Joey Brooks. Joey Brooks is the 4th guy that's being added. He's bounced around. He was most recently at Coastal Carolina. Joey will be here later. He was at Coastal Carolina. He's a family friend of mine. He worked with me at Nichols some. Joey played at Notre Dame. He was a high-level player, got out of college and worked a little bit in the NBA with player development. Then he was with Matt Painter at Purdue, and then came down with me at Nichols. He was at Cal State Fullerton, where they went to the NCAA tournament. So something you're going to see from myself and my staff is I want guys who have been at the highest level. Some have played, some have coached it, and have won and been to the NCAA tournament, because that's what we're trying to do.
We've got time for maybe one more if somebody has one.
What's he got? Come on, Zay.
All right, I think we're good. Thank you to Coach, and thank you to, go ahead.
What's up, Zay? Time and place. Time and place. No, listen, it's funny. I mean, I could show you in our group chat at Alabama. Just, you know, we played North Carolina, and we win. And our director of analytics puts in the group chat after the game, like, we literally took all layups, all threes. And he's like, look at this work of art. And I'm just like, you know, yeah, we won. We beat North Carolina, you know. And listen, I think, in all seriousness, I recruit guys because of, you know, quite frankly, you guys nowadays, the talent that you guys have. You can do things we can't coach. You know, the mid-range shot, sometimes it's better than a 3. Sometimes the 3 is better than the layup. You know, whatever the case may be. You know, I think most importantly, are we taking shots that you can make at an efficient level, right? Some guys are really good mid-range players. Some guys would be better off getting down the paint, playing off 2 and finding teammates. I think at the end of the day, it's all about efficiency. One thing we're going to do, every shot you shoot in live action is going to be charted. So after a couple of months, we're going to know exactly, just sort of where your strengths are, things we need to improve on. And I don't want to get too basketball-y, into it right now, but I think that's a big part of why you see the guys, who are in that system make huge jumps in their draft stock and why they're able to go at the next level and be ready because the system does really prepare you to get to the next level and be efficient right away. So yes, time and place, but more importantly, I'll be honest with you, Zay, like I want guys to compete. Like it's not about making shots for me. If you come in here every day and work and compete and guard and are a good teammate, like that's where we're going to win first. I would say more important than shooting mid-range, just don't turn it over. Shoot it before you turn it over. We might shoot it before you turn it over. We might go get it off the offensive rebound. So that's more my philosophy. So hope that answers your question, man.
Well, again, just thank you all so much for being here. Also, again, welcome to Jimena Gomez. We are so happy that you're part of our Roadrunner family. And then I would be remiss if I did not thank Sosa and the band. You all are amazing, and thank you for everything that you do.
All right, Coach Claunch and Dr. Campos will be around for a while for one-on-one interviews. Michael's here to help facilitate and just let us know how we can help. Thanks, everybody, for being here.